And hello everybody, today I want to make a short video, hopefully, fingers crossed, about making courier contracts and the ins and outs of it. And this isn't going to be about you hauling stuff, this is going to be about you needing to get stuff hauled for you. In my personal situation, I've been mining a lot. This character has a lot of mining skills, so I spent a lot of time making ISK doing that. It's pretty boring, which is why I'm not going to make a video on actual well, maybe I will, but watching mining is really boring. Mostly what people do when they mine is have a second monitor and watch TV, honestly. But you end up with a huge volume of stuff, and you can do things like, I don't know, I'll show you an ISIS here. You can buy a transport ship that is built, where is it? The Miasmos. It is a huge ore cargo hold capacity, and you can carry about 40,000 cubic meters of ore. Only ore. It has a special cargo hold for that, the ore hold for that. Or you can get an Iterian, which has just a giant cargo hold, or it can go in a cargo hold or an ore hold. And you can ship like, yeah, about 50,000 cubic meters at a time. But say you have a lot. I don't have it that much right now, but for the sake of example, I have about 110,000 cubic meters of stuff to move, and running back and forth is kind of a pain in the butt, and it's worth it to me. Instead of just moving all this stuff myself, I could be mining while this is having someone else move it for me, and therefore I'm willing to pay someone else to move this for me. Let's actually clean this up. So, how do we do that? How do we do that without getting screwed? Creating contracts there's gonna be a lot of things you can do that can actually screw you up, but the easiest way to do it is, say you have a whole bunch of crap. I could actually select everything in my inventory if I want. I just select all, and you just right click one item and you can create a contract. I'm only gonna move my ore, so I'm gonna select all my ore, right click, create contract. It'll bring up your contract creation thing. I believe you have to be a paid account to create contracts. I'm not 100% sure. You can only have so many open contracts at a time as well. You can actually train a skill called contracting to have more contracts, and that's pretty useful. I only got level 2 in it because I don't make that many. But say I am in the middle of freaking nowhere and I need this stuff hauled to a trade hub where I can sell it for profit. I have a good idea of what it's worth. This haul is worth about 19.7 million. When I actually get it to the trade hub, it'll be worth a little bit more because things sell for a little bit more in major trade hubs. So what you're going to do is you're going to do the right click, open, create a contract, and go to public. You want it to be a courier contract. You can do item exchange, where you actually just exchange items with people according to certain terms. You can make auction contracts, but this tutorial or video is courier contracts, and it's going to be made public because we want to have anyone who wants to accept it to be able to grab it, so make sure it's public. You can make private contracts, and that's actually important for later, but you can make a private contract to any character in the game and only they can accept it or deny it. But this will be a public courier contract, and we're going to hit next, and from then it'll show you all the items in your inventory in that station, but it'll automatically have selected the highlighted items for you. See, my Pyroxeres is already selected, and all the ore that I had selected is there. Number of selected items, 8. Total volume right here. You can just hit next. It'll give you a large cargo warning. Anything above, I believe, I want to say 60,000 cubic meters, that'll give you a warning letting you know that, hey, only a giant ship can carry this, and that's true. Only freighter ships can actually move this. So you're making a contract to go out to people who specialize in taking these kind of contracts, and they look out for very particular things when choosing, and there's very particular things you have to know when you're creating your contract, and we'll go over that. So yes, this is fine. It's a big ass haul. I'm going to ship this to Dodixie because it's the closest major trading hub near my location, and it's going to go to the Navy Assembly, the Federation Naval Assembly Plant. That is the main trade hub. You want to make sure that you actually ship it to the correct station, because if you select the correct system but not the correct station, it sucks, because you don't necessarily have to move it to be able to sell it, but you're gonna have to sell it for a lot less money. So the next bit is the reward. The reward is usually equal to, as you can see when you select reward, it says this route is 7 jumps and you are paying 0 ISK per jump right now. Bog standard for shipping anything is around 500,000 ISK per jump. It sounds like a lot, But in my case, this stuff's worth like 19 million more when I get it to the hub. So it's actually worth it to me to pay that much, if not more. And the more you pay, the faster it'll actually make it there. If you pay 1 million per jump, usually someone will grab that contract right away. It doesn't sit around for very long. 500,000 a jump, it'll take a little bit longer, but you can go low. You can go as low as like 100k a jump. If you are in, if you have your stuff in JITA and you're sending it to another major trading hub, you can get away with it being real cheap, because as long as it's lower than an entire freighter full, or even like a quarter of a freighter full, a freighter can hold 800,000 cubic meters. So if it's along the way of another trade, a freighter will pick it up for really cheap just because, hey, why not? They have to fill up their hull. But anyway, so what we're gonna do here is make it, what does that make it? 25, 2.5 million? No, we'll do 3 million per jump. Yeah, that's a little bit lower than 500,000 a jump, but that's okay. I think that'll be fine. And then we're gonna do, I will do 3.5, whatever. The way I do this is I use a certain chat channel. There, that's perfect. That is that's 500,000 a jump. 3.5 million. And then you want to put in your collateral. Your collateral should be equal to the cost of the goods plus 15%. I usually do, well, let's see here. If you use base price, it'll give you a base price based on a regional average, and that's not usually accurate. As you can see, as I have it highlighted, it's 19.7. Here, the base price was 17.8. I like to just go and, well, I'm gonna make it, I think 30. Use your own discretion. Usually what people will tell you is make sure that your collateral amount is 115% of the total value, and then if you have it more, people will kind of suspect you, because what'll happen is if you have something that's worth nothing and you make a contract for it to have it shipped and you give it way too high of a collateral, people will look at that contract and assume you're going to kill them and get the collateral money. So you don't want to do that. That's actually a method that people use to make more money, is that they make contracts for couriers, gank them, and collect on the collateral, which is pretty gnarly. I don't know. Expiration date, always put the max. Days to complete 10. If you do like 1 day and someone picks up your order and then like tranquility servers just go down for a day, if you know that happens sometimes, they're gonna default on it and lose that money. So they're less likely to accept this contract unless it's really nearby. I am not sitting in a major trading hub right now. I'm 7 jumps away from one, but I am not on a route between the two of them. So it's better for you to just make your expiration the maximum, and that'll signal, especially days to complete. Make sure that's 10. I believe it's the maximum. Maybe you can go higher. I'm just gonna do 10 though. Make sure it's 2 weeks. 10 is a good baseline. That'll let them know, hey, guess what? I'm not sitting out here waiting for you to transfer this stuff for me to gank you and kill your freighter. I'm not trying to collect on the collateral money. I just want my stuff moved. You don't have to worry. Hearts and shit. Anyway, then you go next. Boom. Confirm. Then it's gonna go through all your stuff. It'll spell it out for you in actual, like, plain English terms. Double check, make sure that your collateral is actually more valuable than the items, because if you make your collateral less than the value of the items, the freighter can actually just take your stuff and never finish the delivery. They will just keep the stuff and sell it themselves and make more money. So that's another thing to be aware of, is it's not even on them, it's on you for being dumb. So don't be dumb. But anyway, this looks good to me. We're gonna finish the contract, and it'll actually give you a screen that'll, it's kind of a proof of record. You can actually pull this up if you go into your contracts and go my contracts, get contracts. This is my second one today, and I believe it's this one. It'll just pull that up, just going from that right there. And yeah, and from here, you can just let it sit there. Other players can see it just by searching through contracts, but the best thing you can do is go to a chat channel made to advertise your hauls. So the channel's called Hauler's Channel. It is, you just click the little like channel window button and type in Hauler's Channel. It's 2 words, Hauler's space channel, and it actually has everyone in the chat channel is kept secret until you actually write something. So haulers will be sitting in here, and they'll be keeping an eye out for really good things that are along their route, or really good things that they'll maybe even be willing to go out of their way to complete. And you grab this right here, you just mouse over here, click and drag to the chat, and hit enter. Boom. And that'll advertise it, and see my name pops up in the chat. That'll advertise it to all the other haulers, and they will go out and either accept your contract or just say, hey, that's a bad idea. And if it's a bad one, they'll actually message you saying like, hey, why'd you do this? This is dumb. No one's gonna accept this. The guys who run this channel are really cool dudes, and they're always really willing to help you out. And they keep records of different hauls and stuff. So if you are a ganker, you'll be made known pretty quickly. There's not a whole lot of ways you can game this channel. The people who actually run it police it very well. There's a couple things you need to know when you're actually making this. If any of the items that you have in your contract, let me see if I can show you this, because I don't own any containers, but yeah, freight containers, secure containers, if any of these are in your contract, like in the items that you're making a contract for, the freighter won't be able to do what they do to protect themselves, which is called double wrapping the trade. So what they do normally is they'll take your contract, accept it with one character, subcontract that freight haul to their actual hauler. That way you don't know their alt's name. There's no way for you to know like who they are, when they're going, when they're showing up, or anything, and that'll prevent ganking. But if you include a container in the items that you actually make a contract with, they can't subcontract it. It actually won't let them do that. So then that'll red flag them, and they'll be like, hey, this guy's probably gonna gank us, because smart gankers do that on purpose. So you be aware of that. Don't put containers in your actual shipments if you want them to actually ship, and don't put them in your contracts, especially because then you'll get a reputation, whether you want one or not, whether it was innocent or not. You want to make sure that you have good terms with the haulers, because they can really help you out when you have a bunch of stuff you have to move. They really save your butt. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Hopefully the little tips I had in there was like useful for you. I found it really interesting when I found out about it myself. And yeah, that is today's EVE Online video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.